much. My name's Emily Hickman. I'm with EKSET, and I love working with Ryan, Adam, and Ashley in the chamber, and hopefully with everyone here today. So like Adam was speaking about, the SITE grant is what has started the ERN in the companies here in Kentucky. It's through the SITE program grant. And an employer resource network is what I'm going to go over right now, and then we'll get into some other things. So I'm going to let that play. So what is an employer resource network? We're going to cover ERN USA, ERN Kentucky, the Success Coach role, and how to purchase shares. So ERN USA, pause this here. So ERN was started in Michigan in 2007. And if you recognize that date, that is when all the automobile industry happened. And a bunch of companies came together and they said, okay, we cannot keep our employees. Our employees are having major issues at home as far as other people in the household being laid off. The economy just in that area was going down. So some HR managers came together and they said, okay, how can we solve this issue? The employees that we do have are jumping to another company for, 10-cent raise. And they saw them just circling around. And they came together, they designed the Employer Resource Network and the Success Coach role. And once the Success Coach got in there, and this is someone who comes on site to the employer to meet with any employee that works there, they were able to find some of the trending issues of why they were having attendance issues with their employees. So as of June 2020, there were 28 area networks, there were 17 lead organizations, 38 success coaches, 200 employers in 9 different states. In this annual report needs to be updated. We do have a new one from 2020, but this is from 2019. It's pretty much the same. So when you look at 510% return on investment, that number is calculated based on what you put in for a success coach and how much money that success coach saves you through turnover. So as a business leader, do you know how much your company is spending on turnover? Does anybody here know? If you lose one person, what that average turnover rate is? That's a very important number to know, because when you start calculating that, you'll see that the money that you're spending on doing new recruiting efforts, new hire orientations, trainings for these people, you're losing money on doing that when you could be investing that in the employees you already have and keeping them there. So a lot of times when we're discussing the ERN and their services, we get compared to an employer assistance program. So employer assistance program is a 1-800 number that you give. They call that number. The person on the other line is not a local person. They're Googling resources, and they hand that over, and they do not do follow-ups with the employee. They do not make sure that it was solved, the issue that they had when they came to them. But the success coach, they stay with the employee until it gets resolved. But this 510%, it is based off of the SHRM's average turnover cost. So from 2016, Human Resource Management Survey, each employee for turnover was $4,129. So by having a success coach and investing in a share or shares, they were able to do that return on investment by keeping the employees that they already had there working for them. So they served 6,156 employees plus the employees' families. They had 10,222 return users and services, 15,573 requests. And right here has not changed that much as far as the top 10 service needs of reasons why employees do come to a success coach. The main thing is coaching. Coaching could be anything personal. So this could be someone who's going through a divorce that needs legal help. We can help find them counsel for that. A lot of times we're referring to legal aid, Red Apple. Financial literacy, they just need to do a budget. Sometimes, especially people that are coming out of recovery or Department of Corrections, haven't had a job in a while. And they need to know, okay, how do I get this automatically deposited? I don't think I can have a bank account. I owe the bank some, late fees. We can help them find banks where they can get that account set up. So things of that nature. Housing, huge, huge issue. There's rental shortage. Just getting into housing has been a big issue. And a lot of people do not think that they can ever work towards owning their own home, which we know through our community partners that is possible for a lot more people than they realize for themselves. So emergency loans. This is something that we're starting to do in Kentucky here pretty soon. These are loans that when someone comes to a success coach and they've got an issue, they need tires or their car's broken down in some other way or they had a house fire, and we are looking for funds through all our community and partners. And we're still not able, because of the person's, whatever, we're not able to find a program for them to help. These emergency loans are $1,000 that we'll give to the employee through the success coach and a credit union. Background check on their finances are not done, so anyone is available, and they pay that back. It's automatically deducted from their paycheck, and while they're paying that back, they're also paying into a savings. So that way, part of our budgeting, we can say, okay, $1,000 is really what we need to set aside for you right now. That way, if another emergency comes, you'll be prepared and you won't have to use this loan program. And just teaching that financial aspect of it. And in the blue are the states that we are currently in as far as the ERN USA. Sorry, I feel so rusty. I haven't had to give this presentation in so long. So the Kentucky ERN, the development of that. So Kentucky is in the process of developing employer resource networks throughout the Commonwealth. This innovative model to workforce development aims to blend the efforts of business, social service, and workforce development agencies to support all employees, but particularly low-wage and entry-level employees with job retention services, work supports, education, and training. So key innovations. Business engagement, cross-sector collaboration among employers, human services and educators, workplace-based employee success coaching, which is case management, and real-time referrals to community resources. So all the members that are in the ERN, we have a quarterly meeting where they can discuss trends based on the reports that our success coaches keep. Our success coaches keep reports of who they're servicing and why they're coming to them and what their service needs are. Based on the company, we'll either send them, we have some companies that like a weekly report. We can do monthly and quarterly. On our ERN calls, we go over a compiled report of all of our success coaches' reports statewide so that we can see what the trends are at that time. And that way, if we're seeing something where there's a gap, and usually there always is, that can be something that we focus on and tackle together. So with our workplace, or our real-time referrals to community resources, the main role of a success coach is to know who can provide what services and connecting the people who need those services. I don't know if any of you have ever known about a great program that had all kinds of funding, but no one knew about the service, no one knew how to access that service. A lot of times that's fundings and grant. So if you don't spend that money, then it gets given back. And all these people didn't get help that could have taken advantage. The Success Coach person knows all their community resources by name. They're partners with our business services, with the career centers, with our colleges, with our chambers. Adam can speak to all of his partners that he knows. And Goodwill's one of our big partners. We have helped, just in the past 6 months, 5 different people go through the Cars to Work, Goodwill's Cars to Work program. And a lot of these people that were speaking had no clue that it existed. But we're like, well, Goodwill has a great program. They have career navigators. When we see that the referral fits, we send it over. And we just don't give them a number. We say, I know this person. Ask for Mary. Tell them that I sent you. And then we follow up and was like, were they able to help you? Because sometimes funds run out for certain programs. And we'll need to find another way, but we stay with that person to completion. Sometimes somebody will come to us just because they want to get promoted within the workplace. And that might mean getting a certificate or more education. We can work with our career centers and say, do you have a program where this person can get their forklift certification? And as Adam was speaking before, EKSF has some certain grants that we have. So we have site funding right now that we can pay for work boots. We can pay for training for a certain population. And we try to use any resources that we can find for any of the employees to service whatever their goals are. But we would like to keep them staying at work. We want them to be able to focus on work. So we work on work life and personal life, because most people know you cannot separate the two. If something is going on at home, you do bring it into the workplace. You're not going to be able to focus because you are worried about whatever that's taking place. When I was an on-site success coach, I had a great employee that was referred to me because she just wasn't able to concentrate on the job that morning. So they said, is there any way we can send her to you to me? She came over and she was embarrassed that she had got referred to me by her supervisor, but she's like, well, I am having a really, really bad day. That's why my calls aren't going so good. My electric's getting cut off right now because, somebody was supposed to pay it and they didn't, and she didn't know. And now her children's calling saying, our electric's off. So I was able to help her find a community resource that had funds specifically designated for utility services. We called them. I coached her on how to go throughout the call. She gave them all their information. They sent over the money so that it could get turned back on. It was turned back on within 30 minutes because they were still there. And she was able to go about her day fine, focusing back on work. A lot of times you cannot tell what someone is going through based off of how they perform at work. I've had people come in and speak with me that have great hygiene, that have a very great positive attitude, love their job, and once I start speaking to them, I'll go over the confidentiality agreement, get them to sign that, and they know whatever they're going to say to me stays between us, and this is a safe place. I find out that they've been living in their car for 6 months. They've been having to go to a gas station to take showers. And it's just amazing, what people are going through that, that we just can't imagine based off of how they're personally acting. And I can keep going and going, but I don't want to take up all time today. So the ERN programs help employees access social services and training programs that support employment. And that is the main thing. With the ERN USA, we are able to share best practices. So we have a peer support call with all of our success coaches across the nation. We have ERN calls for the employers, and a conference that they can attend to also discuss, what they're utilizing. Because the success coach will come to your company, and based off where you are right now, your culture, your needs, what your biggest issues are, we'll go through a plan with what you guys need the most. So it looks different at every company. So if you would like to learn more, if you'll go to ekset.org, and under services, it'll say Kentucky ERN. You can select that and go to our webpage, and you'll be able to watch this presentation. It's on there, as well as see some of the companies that are involved right now. And just reach out to us. If you want to say, yeah, coming from a success coach, everything you sound is great, but what is it like on the business side? I have a lot of business members that are business owners that would be willing to talk to you and let you know what having a success coach has done for their company. Employees are your greatest asset. You would not have a company without your employees, and they need your investment. Let's go to where it has my contact information. So, the ERN-Kentucky.com is another one of our websites. And that's also the ERN USA website that you can see all of their information and see which states that they are involved with. And we have a Facebook. And we have our board meetings. So, here's my information, and then Missy Quillen, our project manager, her information follows mine. Our next board meeting, and if you're interested in learning more about the Employer Resource Network and you'd like to join that board member meeting, I can send you an invitation to see how it goes. And we're very happy to have Ashley McCarty be our guest speaker at our next board meeting, and we'll be going over zero tolerance policies in the workplace. And I'd like to open up for any questions before I hand it over.